Hey, everybody out there in internet land. This is Gerald Mendoza here with PJ Dolan for tonight's edition of We Talk Sports. Corey could not be with us today. He had some prior commitments he had to deal with, but you still got us. And really, that's all you need.
Of course.
We have a full slate of stuff to talk about today. We got the Lakers capping off the season by winning a championship for Kobe, the only way that it should have ended, and it ended that way. It's always nice when sports works out that way. The absolute mess that is the MLB playoff picture right now, and what looks to be the potential World Series that we're about to go into, and the NFL, where both PJ's New York Football Giants and my Washington football team are about to face off in one of the best/worst sports experiences that is to happen this year. But before anything,
I would like anybody watching, anybody who will watch, to drop a congratulations in the chat for our very own Gerald Mendoza, who is now the assistant coach of his where he works basketball team.
I work at a small private academy, so they decided we were able to schedule games and we are going to have a season. And last year's coaches quit, so I'm in.
All right, sounds like the next Oak Hill Academy to me.
No, this is going to be an absolute.
So why don't we get a breakdown of what kind of offense we're running here, Joe?
It has three sides, known as a triangle. The defense, I'm just going to tell them to tackle the people because
fair enough.
Yeah, that's the only chance we really have. We don't have anybody. We have one person who's tall, but he can't use his hands for his life.
Fair enough. I'm getting a lot of Flint Tropics energy from this team.
This might be a Flint Tropics type of season. But hey, who doesn't love the Flint Tropics?
Exactly.
So
I mean, obviously, in our prior shared experience of trying out for baseball, we know that only the most elite strength and conditioning will be brought to the table for this
absolutely
star-studded group of people of which you are coaching.
Well, to borrow a phrase of yours that I very much enjoy, I'm going to have these kids out there running, looking like tons of fun in The Biggest Loser.
Yep.
It's going to be, oh no, I'm going to set a low bar for them. I'm going to say, if I can run laps around you're going to be cut because you've seen how I run. No, I'm not in the league. I was born here. I never had to learn how to run fast across the border, just for future reference, all right?
Jesus.
I know you know how I feel about a certain type of sports affiliation by nationality.
All right. Well, before we get down that rabbit hole and I got to cancel myself, Gerald, thoughts on the outcome of the NBA Finals?
All right. Well, I can't say I'm upset because I'm not. I think like I said, I think it ended the way it was supposed to. I was very happy to see the Lakers win in this season. That was obviously and very clearly once the tragedy had struck earlier this year. God, that was earlier. That was at the beginning of the year. Remember?
Bro, that feels like 5 years ago at least.
That feels like 5 years ago. But at the beginning of this year, this calendar year, Kobe Bryant sadly passed away. And at that point, I think the Lakers were put on a mission to get things done and honor him. And I'm glad it turned out the way it did. I think I was wrong about my prediction about how long the series would last. I did predict that the Lakers were going to win, but I think I said they would do it in 5.
I also think I said in 5.
But, I mean, hey, props to Jimmy Butler for putting on an absolute show a couple of those nights. Like tearing it down. I mean, oh man, it was just meant to be, I think. And I think this is one of the feel good moments that everyone's been looking forward to for a long time in sports, especially this year with everything going on. But in terms of who the most valuable player in the finals was, it was LeBron. There was no question.
Yeah, of course.
He was the show. He was King James. He has his 4th ring. The Lakers have their 17th ring. And I think we're done talking about LeBron's, failures in the finals. Because what was it? He was 3-3.
No, he was like 3-6. So now
Three
he's
and six.
4-6.
3-6. So now he's 4-6. I think if he can keep this pace up and get the right tools around him, and just have that little bit of luck stay with him, I think he can easily go up to 6-6.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still the greatest player in the world right now. He's still the most valuable player in the league. He was the most valuable player in the finals, and he showed that night after night. And Anthony Davis was also a really good player. He was right up there with him, trying to match that energy and that performance. But obviously, LeBron was definitely the leader of that group, and definitely the one who deserved, I think, the ring the most out of everyone who was involved. So, congratulations to the Lakers. PJ, your thoughts on the finals?
Well, the MVP sure as hell wasn't Kuzma. That boy was a 2-pack of ass the whole series. But besides the point, Heat are scary, man. Jimmy Butler is not. I saw some on Twitter comparing it to like when Jordan lost to the Pistons and he went to the gym and came back like 20 pounds more muscle and he was just tearing it up. Jimmy Butler is going to put in some work this offseason. And there's rumors that Pat Riley's going all in to acquire Giannis Antetokounmpo. So if you get Jimmy Butler and Giannis on there, the Heat are going to be scary in a couple of years. It's too bad my Knicks are going to swoop in and steal all them trades.
I was about to say, I was just about to bring that up. Now comes the fun. I forget how much fun the offseason in the NBA is, because every single offseason something happens, and something happens to shake things up. And I think this season is going to be also very interesting. Now that everybody was in the bubble, basically together, playing together, spending time with each other as, a league basically for a while.
Yeah.
Some insider dealing was going on. People were just like, hey, when's your contract up? Let's go play over here. Let's go get some money over there. And I think the Knicks are finally going to become that destination for some players.
Bro, I've been saying that shit for the last like 15 years.
I know, but you've been delusional the last 14 and a half years about it. I'm talking about reality here. The Knicks actually have a chance to land some serious star power and performance and get things done. I truly believe. Like I'm being sincere here, and I'm being sincere to you, to your face. Listen, the Knicks have a chance to get Giannis, and I think that could save the franchise. Because if not, they deserve to burn.
I've had my heart broken so many times. I refuse to open myself up again to love. So as far as I'm concerned,
it sounds like you need to go to therapy.
So as far as I'm concerned,
sports therapy.
The Giannis contract that the Knicks would offer him is just gonna go to a Julius Randle extension.
Like it usually, or hiring an old coach, an old player who becomes a coach.
Yeah.
Who's next in line? Who's next in line that hasn't punched James Dolan?
I'll do probably Melo once he retires. Bro, speaking of Carmelo Anthony, switching topics from the Knicks in the finals, the Denver Nuggets put out a tweet today, and it was a poll, and it was a picture of like 5 players, and it was like, who is your favorite Nugget like to ever play for the franchise? Mm-hmm. Carmelo Anthony was not included in that picture. Carmelo Anthony led the Nuggets to the Western Conference Finals and was quite the talented player while he was playing for that franchise.
No, yeah, that was definitely a mistake on whoever did that. That was absolutely stupid.
Now, I understand the ending was a little tumultuous, but you're still gonna put KD on the list of greatest Thunder / Supersonics of all time, even though he told them to,
Speaking of KD and Kyrie, are they gonna actually take the Nets to the finals?
No, as long as Kyrie Irving is on that team, it's not going to happen.
Why not? What do you think? He's going to keep on getting injured and taking up too much or too much money?
While we're on the Nets topic, can we assess how that? When did they move there? Like 2013. So it's
Yeah.
7 years, right? In their
Right.
7 years of trying to take over New York, they finally have submitted to the fact that they cannot. So now they're trying to regain their New Jersey fan base.
Oh yeah, if there's anything I've read about New Jersey fan base is that it's very forgiving.
So yeah, so that shows they might have the stars, but as far as operations are concerned, they're on a similar level to the New
They're
York.
trying in my thing is they're trying in one of the most shallow ways possible by giving them a throwback kind of spunked up.
It doesn't even say New Jersey on it; it just says Nets.
Yeah, you're not even trying here. Just say New Jersey. Like admit that you were wrong and take back your mistake. But no, they're trying to put a band-aid over a crack. And no, that's not the right phrase. The hell? Band-aid over a crack.
I don't know what you want about,
I
bro.
don't know what I was going for there. They're trying to fix something that they can't fix, and they're not even putting that much effort into it. They've realized they didn't win the Battle of New York because, of course, you didn't. You're fighting against the Knicks, and as bad and dysfunctional as that organization is, it's still the New York Knicks. They still have the Garden, the only Garden, or at least the only Garden worth mentioning.
Right.
And you think you're going to swoop in with the Barclays Center and a terrible, terrible, terrible court that looks like it's made out of Roblox.
First of all, what they should work on is trying to regain their visually impaired fan base, because I know they can't watch a damn game for the life of them. Yes, court.
I told you if they're playing against someone with a bright color, when the Nets played the Lakers, Rob Long of 105.7 The Fan radio morning show, he said it and he put it into words. I was trying to find a way to describe why it hurt to watch that game. It's because it looked like a bunch of highlighters and gray erasers running around on the court. It makes no sense. I still don't get that's got to be the ugliest court in the NBA.
I gotta find a picture of this.
Yeah. Well, you look for that. Like, that's got to be the ugliest court in the NBA.
Oh,
and
dude,
then
it's real bad.
And at least it's not as bad as I'm gonna look for this one while you're looking for that one, but I'm gonna keep on talking. Well, that is the worst one in the NBA. The worst one I've seen in the NCAA in college basketball is definitely the Oregon Ducks basketball court. Have you ever seen that one?
Yeah, that shit is terrible. It's just like, why is it? It's like tie dye.
Well, it's Oregon.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. Are you gonna share the screen, or were you just looking at it for?
No, I was just looking at it for reference.
Okay,
we get some audience engagement. Maybe they just were tuned out for half of our conversation. Now they're like, oh, now I gotta go look at the highlighters and the tie dye jerseys.
Yeah, no, that's bad. And then here's the Oregon one. Dude. Look at that. What the hell is this?
Congrats, you have trees. Like, I don't know what you're trying to go.
Right. Not even trees. Wasn't your state built on the logging industry? If anything, you should just have stumps. Like, all you guys do is celebrate trees in Oregon. Do you have nothing else to offer this country? Does Oregon do anything for this country?
Landslides.
At least Florida gives us entertainment. But
I mean, Nike, but
but that could be anywhere.
Yeah,
that could be anywhere. Nike could be in Baltimore. It'd be useful. That just about as effective. I mean, think about Under Armour. It's in Baltimore.
Yeah, I don't know what Under Armour's doing though, bro. Under Armour's kind of slipping, from my understanding.
I think they're going back to the backup role instead of trying to compete. Like, competing face to face against Nike is never a good idea, business wise. Yeah. You were never going to win. Yeah. I mean, Steve Harvey was on. I don't know if you've seen Jerry Seinfeld's show, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee.
I'm not.
he had Steve Harvey on there, and someone told him, he's like, this one guy came up to me. He's like, aren't you worried about being oversaturated in the media? He's like, do you think Nike is worrying about being oversaturated in the sports industry?
Right.
Get the hell out of my face. Let me make my money.
Jesus, dude. Yeah, but honestly, yeah.
No. Go ahead.
It's just Oregon's not a good look. What? Well, I mean, they got the Trailblazers. Still, like, congrats, you had a wagon.
All right. Like what? Okay, real quick.
I'm gonna look up famous people from Oregon.
This is just a random question. Like, what city has the best mascots for their teams?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Right? Like, I just thought, like, what city has good ones and what city has terrible ones?
That's actually a great question. I'm gonna look up like if there's an article on that.
There probably is. I'm thinking one of the best ones that we don't have anymore has got to be the Supersonics.
Oh yeah,
That's like top tier, superior level team naming. Washington.
I mean you can't really. First of all, New York, half the teams don't even have a mascot.
I mean, not even mascots, but like team names and stuff like that. Like,
and plus
yours are Metropolitans, Yankees, Knickerbockers.
I still don't know what the hell a metropolitan is.
It's just someone from a city.
Congrats. It's the same level as a Ute.
You know when they say New York metro area?
Yeah.
That's a metropolitan area.
Yeah, I mean, I know it, but like, it's stupid. Why would you? First of all, look up the Rays mascot right now. That is a terrifying thing.
Did they rebrand it? I have not seen the Rays play baseball this season.
Just Google. I'll see if I can pull this up on it and share my screen here.
Rays current mascot. Raymond? They would give it a stupid. What the heck is that? That looks like a Muppet that grew up and got an addiction. Do you see this? Is this it? Are you still there? Because you look like you're frozen.
Well, see if you can kick that me out.
Yeah, I just did.
Yeah, that thing. Sorry, I don't know how to share my screen. As you can tell, it just made my computer crash. But whatever the hell that thing is, I don't like it.
It looks like, I told you, it looked like a Muppet that grew up and got an addiction. Oh no, I know what the Giants one was. The Giants had that giant bobblehead thing.
Oh yeah, but
remember?
Yeah,
and you know the only reason I know that is because of those Victor Cruz chunky soup commercials.
No, but that wasn't even our mascot. That was like they had to make that up for the chunky soup.
Then what was your mascot?
We don't have one. We don't even have cheerleaders.
All right. But no, I think all the Washington teams should just keep to something government related. I think a constant theme would be a lot better. Like Nationals and Capitals, perfect.
Yeah. Wizard.
Name them the Senators.
Yeah, I like all the real like city themed names. Like some teams are like the San Francisco Giants doesn't really like it's San Francisco. Like New York Giants, like at least you got like big ass buildings. Like okay, that makes sense.
But that's because of the franchise history and moving and all that. I mean, the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Yeah.
What is it about people leaving New York to go to California?
I don't know, bro. That's why we don't get any free agents.
There you go. No, but like I think Houston has a great theme. The space theme.
Oh yeah, I like that. Except for
Rockets. Fucking Astros.
The Texans.
Yeah, that's the one that ruins it.
What would you recommend the Texans change their name to be more space themed?
It's got to be asteroids. There's got to be something else. The astronauts. I don't know.
Dude.
I still don't know, man. I either way.
I just came up with a really bad one.
What is it?
The Houston Challengers, because they always crash and burn. You like that one? Rest in peace to everyone involved.
Oh, please. That was nationally broadcast television. And the children, my mother went through this. She was in school at the time. Both my parents, they were watching it because it was national news. A teacher was going to go up into space. So they had every single school in America watching that news feed.
Go figure, buddy.
And as soon as that happened.
Yeah.
But in any case, all right, who's a team that always starts well but ends terribly?
Which sport?
Any sport.
The damn Dodgers.
All right, petition to change their name to the Los Angeles Colombians.
No.
I want to see what Corey has to say about that one when he ends up watching this.
Yeah,
because
it'd be a tough scene. But but in seriousness, all due respect to the dead, but
right,
you could do the Apollos. That'd be kind of hard.
Hey, that should be yeah.
And you could do like a Greek god theme, but still or whatever the hell god Apollo was, and still space and all that. It's cool.
Yeah, but anyway, we were completely off topic. What were we talking about? We were talking about the Knicks being an absolute trash organization that they're not going to get Giannis anymore.
Yeah, that's just not happening. If it happens, then Lord Jesus. But it's not going to happen.
Yeah. I'm glad you're past the delusion phase of all of these rumors because
that's just because it's not in full swing yet. As soon as I see one news article that gets me
one Yes Network article,
it's a wrap.
It's no, because I remember how excited you got about the Kyrie and KD when they said we're going to New York. But, you know Brooklyn is never going to win when they have KD and Kyrie on the same team and they still can't become New York's team.
KD and Kyrie just, man, listen, that hurt. I'm not going to lie, that hurt.
Oh, no.
I'll never forget this as long as I live, that whole day.
By the way,
because we lost the lottery. So let me take you through Zion lottery day.
Oh.
I can find a picture somewhere. I set up like a shrine with some candles. My dad was there. My dad was wearing all his Patrick Ewing shit because that's the last time the Knicks got the number one pick, and it was a scene going on. I spent the whole day listening to the song "To Zion" by Lauryn Hill, and I was trying to get all the good vibes I could. Like the Knicks were going to get the first pick, and then nature took its course. But the Kyrie one hurt, man. The Kyrie and KD one, I didn't see. I saw Kyrie sign with the Nets, and I was like, oh boy, this is not good. But then I was like, okay, Kemba's a good point guard. We get Kemba Walker and Kevin Durant. Like that's still fine. I was walking in to the movie theater to watch Toy Story. What was it? The last one, like 5, 4. I was walking into the movie theater to watch Toy Story 4. And I look at my phone. And I see Woj tweeted that KD was going to the damn Nets. I was like, no. It was literally terrible.
It ruined the movie for you, didn't it?
Horrendous.
Right now, the trade rumors are the apparently several teams want Kyle Kuzma for some reason.
The Knicks free agent pickup is going to be Kyle Kuzma.
And NBA trade rumors apparently execs think the Lakers will attempt to trade for Chris Paul.
Jesus. Well, the Knicks might trade for Chris Paul. The Knicks might trade for Russell Westbrook. Apparently, that's also a deal that's out there.
That could be interesting.
We'll take that.
How about also Kendrick Perkins is trying to explain why the LA Clippers must target Rajon Rondo.
Bro, the Clippers are they're the Clippers. It's the same thing as the Nets.
I was about to say,
like,
they should have stayed in San Diego.
Right.
Oh, but then again, the owner is one of the craziest batshit owners I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. No.
There's a reason he got banned.
At least he's passionate. Oh, well, yeah. The new owner is cool, but I forgot about the old one. Thank you for stopping.
Right. You were about to compliment.
He's like a passionate, involved fan. No, that's the wrong guy.
No, wrong guy. New guy. I like the new guy. He's crazy, but he's that good kind of crazy.
Yeah.
He's a fan. He's definitely a fan, and he wants to see his team win, which is great. That's all you need in well, not all you need. That's what you need
in owners like that, not named Jerry Jones.
By the way, we'll get to this a little more later, but poor Jerry Jones, he's never going to see another Super Bowl in his life.
What do you mean, poor Jerry Jones?
Yeah, all right, I forgot. You really do hate him. Okay. I try to have sympathy for the elderly sometimes if they're not, never mind. I have nowhere to go with this.
They don't have sympathy for me, so.
They don't even have the best stadium in the league anymore. Thank you, LA, for that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so all that being said, we've done enough NBA talk. It is now time to talk about the travesty that is this MLB postseason.
Yeah, so I missed last week, obviously, and last week was Game 5 of Yankees-Rays, and that went how that went. So I'll give you haven't heard my analysis of the Yankees-Rays series yet. So here we go. Game 1, I was thinking sweep. The way we lit up the Rays, we had it wrapped up. I was gonna have a nice Friday night off because we were gonna have the series wrapped up by Thursday. And then Game 2 happens. Good old dude, first of all, playoff Tanaka just doesn't exist anymore, so that's great. And then let's talk about the Debbie Garcia and J.A. Happ or J. Happ or however the hell you say his name. I don't really care how you say his name because he's trash at the sport of baseball. So we traded for him because he played well against the Red Sox a couple of times, and that was the year the Red Sox won the World Series. So we needed to be good against the Red Sox, and that's about all he's useful for because I've never seen a more terrible pitcher in my entire life. That decision made absolutely no sense. Debbie Garcia, he gave up a home run, but so did Garrett Cole in the first inning of Game 1. It's one home run. You can live with it. And he looked good other than that. And then didn't even keep him in there for a couple innings, just one inning. And they brought in J. Happ. And he did what Happ does. And then it slowly declined, but the Yankees came back to even the series. And Giancarlo Stanton had the game of his damn life, which go figure the one time that Giancarlo Stanton decides to show up to play the sport of baseball that the rest of the Yankees team decides not to show up. So, yeah, Game 5 was Game 5. Aroldis Chapman, if I have to see him smile one more damn time,
it's if I may, it's definitely disappointing because if there's a pitcher right now who I think honestly really is someone who definitely deserves a championship, at least a pennant, It's got to be Chappie.
Well, Chappie won with the Cubs.
Oh, you're right. Never mind.
And guess what? He almost pissed away that game too.
I remember that, but
Yeah.
that's because what's his name was overusing him.
Joe Madden or whatever his name.
Yeah, John Madden. He was overusing him. John Madden. That's
John Madden. You're thinking about the wrong guy.
Joe Madden was definitely overusing him throughout the postseason. He was using him almost every other game, if not more. Every 3 out of 4 games, he was using him to try to close out the game. Yeah, he was effective at shutting it down, and it gives you a sense of security. But when you needed him when it was most important, he was too tired to keep everything together.
Right.
Listen, he is a fine-tuned machine for a very specific time period in a game. Stop using him in the 8th, running him into the 9th, and then running him out the next night.
How about in a tie game, you don't put the fucker in the 7th inning? Why was Chapman in the 7th inning of Game 5?
I'm telling you, he is someone's panic mode button. They say, "Oh, we gotta get this done. It's elimination time." Well, we have no choice. Put in Chappie. No, you can't. He is a 1-inning shutdown pitcher.
Right.
This is not someone like Mo who can actually run 7 innings, but only ever needed to do the 9th inning because he actually had a good team around him that stayed healthy.
Dude, it's just.
But at least you have Hall of Famers.
Yeah, we need to sign. First of all, we announced that we're keeping Aaron Boone to be our manager next year, which.
How wonderful.
Other than his hot mics, guys are not really worth anything. So, yeah, we need to re-sign DJ LeMahieu.
Why don't you guys hire Buck Showalter again? He's unemployed.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody loves Buck Showalter.
Yeah, he helped set up the framework for those couple of chips.
Exactly.
But yeah, we need to re-sign DJ. And honestly, you can re-sign Chapman. Re-sign him if you use him properly. You'll have to see him smile again, then he can leave. But look, Tanaka is good, but you got people. There's a lot of free agent pitchers this offseason. A lot.
Hey, we'll take Tanaka.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can take him. So, as much as I love Tanaka, wait
a minute. You hated him before he even got to your team because of how demanding he was to get on the team. Don't you remember?
Dude, we paid $500 million just to sit down and have a meeting with him, something ridiculous.
I think you paid something like $6 or $7 million for the meeting because you flew him out. You catered to him. You gave him his room and board, and then paid for all of his expenses.
Yeah, I mean, and I thank him for his playoff appearances, but during the regular season, I mean, he's a good pitcher, but I wouldn't say he's anything particularly outstanding. Now, obviously, in the playoffs, exclude this year, dude's electric. But we got Severino coming back next year. We got Garrett Cole. I wouldn't mind a couple free agent pitchers, and I don't want to see Hap on the damn team next year. That is one guy. Devi looks good. Devi can take Hap's spot. James Paxton, he can go to. Get some pitchers in there and just let it ride. Because you cannot – what are you going to do? Build a better offense? You can't.
You've reached peak offense, but no, what they need to invest in is a way to keep those guys healthy.
Yeah, maybe
like I said, for all the analytics departments that the Yankees have, and they're bigger than anyone else and have the most resources to put into it, you guys get injured a lot, and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you're telling me
you're either someone's training them incorrectly or isn't telling them to train correctly when they do it incorrectly. I don't know what's going on, especially with what should be your two marquee players.
Bro, your guess is as good as mine. What's going on with that? We can figure it out.
The only reason I'm so passionate about this is because I can't be passionate about the Orioles right now. There's just no way.
I mean, y'all could have made the playoffs this year.
I know, because you guys almost shit the bed before you got there.
Yeah, I mean, we might as well have. I mean, Christ. But anyway, enough with my Yankees analysis. I have some.
Dodgers analysis.
I have some bets that I have to uphold next up. Next time, all three of us are on from the Indian series. We will cover that when that time comes. So yeah, as far as the rest of the playoffs, the Dodgers, I don't know what the hell they're doing right now.
I don't know either. They
But
should be a lot better than what they're doing.
and okay, so and also the Houston Astros, everybody's favorite team, is in the damn ALCS right now, and they're up 2-1 right now in Game 6. Now they're up 3-1.
As you spoke?
They hit a damn homer as I spoke. So top of the fifth, 3-1 Astros over the Rays right now. If the Astros make it, see, the only thing carrying me through it was like Astros win this series, like, okay, at least I'll get spanked by the Dodgers. Dodgers aren't even going to make it to the damn World Series.
Oh, man. It's just...
You know it's bad when your hopes have to lie on the Atlanta Braves.
Hey, I'll be honest. There's always going to be at least a little bit of a soft spot in my heart for the Braves because of their time with Chipper Jones.
Yeah.
But in any case...
can the damn Rays just please beat that?
Please, just end it tonight. End it.
So that
we don't have to have a national televised press conference with Altuve and Correa.
Dude, Carlos Correa is actually the most annoying human being to ever walk the face of this earth. Like,
I pray. You know how they're having limited fans in the stands right now?
Yeah.
I'm praying that a fan comes in with a giant sign, and they can't complain about it because it's not going to be blocking anyone's view. A giant sign that says, Jose Altuve, where's your tattoo?
Yeah, that'd be pretty funny. Dude, the biggest travesty of the whole coronavirus is that there were not fans in the stands during this year for the Astros to just get absolutely destroyed.
But that means, wait. But if they win again, and God forbid it does again, because just Lord forbid. But should it happen again, can you imagine the amount of heat they would be getting every single game next season?
Yeah.
Just absolutely, just everybody just wailing at them, including out buying. I want this to happen. If people have the money, if you save that stimulus check and you have the money to go to a bunch of different Astros game, or like buy a bunch of different Astros tickets and just not go, just to mess with them, please do so.
Yeah.
That organization deserves to die in a fire, or I said be shipped off to a communist country where they can go and try cheating over there.
Bro, like we talked about this pre-show. The only saving grace if the Astros win the World Series this year is that it's a fake season and they still have an asterisk. So their redemption tour, whatever the hell they're trying to play it off as, still
is a fake one. Yeah, it doesn't count. It doesn't work. It isn't going to, it's just. But in any case, let's hope the Rays win. What inning is it in?
The fifth.
There's still time. There's still a lot of baseball to play.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of baseball to play. There's still, I pray the Dodgers can come back. I really do, because I want to see. I think I want to see the Dodgers get a ring, and I want to see the Yankees get a ring, and I want to see them fight against each other to get a ring.
Yeah,
which is what we said should have happened this year. But since y'all teams both fell at least one level short, I'm not going to have that satisfaction unless the Dodgers win.
I need the Dodgers to please win the series. Just as an insurance plan for if Houston wins. If the Rays win tonight, then all due respect to Corey, like what happens. But right. If the Astros win, then I need the Dodgers to kick their ass.
I need Clayton Kershaw to throw at someone's head. Well, not head. Maybe their arm.
I mean, honestly, the way he's looking in the playoffs right now, you could just put him in for one pitch, just lay out. Who's the leadoff hitter for the Astros? I don't even care. Just beam him in the face, and then he gets ejected, and then you're off. You're off to the race.
Oh yeah, I was about to say, beam him in the head and gets ejected. I was about to say, you want him to throw one pitch? I thought there was a 3-batter minimum.
Well, I mean, the more the merrier.
I was about to say, accidentally hit one, hit another one, get a warning, and then on the third one, actually get kicked out. There you go. Yeah. He would be a Hall of Famer. He's already a Hall of Famer, but he would be even more of an automatic Hall of Famer at that point.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care what any purist says. They deserve to be plunked.
Bro, this is God. God, please don't. Please don't. God.
A small digression. Speaking of the agony that this year has caused us, we have made it very clear on this podcast that there is definitely an affection for Taco Bell, and that we have expressed our various levels in various forms and through various words our disappointment in that in Taco Bell for getting rid of all potato items.
Disgraceful.
Getting rid of, I think, the quesarito, although I think it's still on online menu.
Online, but the nature of Taco Bell is such that it's not something you order online. It's something that you just get.
Right. And also, they said that they were getting rid of the Mexican pizza for the stupidest reason, might I add, that they didn't want to deal with the packaging anymore. Who gets rid of one of your most popular food items because you don't like the packaging? And then try to save grace with something stupid like, oh, but we're going to have a dragon fruit fruities or something.
Dude, first of all, dragon fruits it's not even that good. Now, you know what is good before you lead into what we're bringing up Taco Bell for? The stacker box is a very redeeming factor. They outdid themselves with that one.
I have said when we are all together again and you do your commitment to your bets, I will also be over here enjoying a $5 grande stacker box live on air. But also to bring all that up, the Mexican pizza got people's attention so much so that someone started a change.org petition. A petition to save the Mexican pizza.
Link in the description.
Link is in the description, and it's also right here on screen.
We might not be able to save the loaded potato grillers. Can I get what's that song? Arms of the Angels or whatever now?
We gotta get. I'm not gonna get copyright strikes.
Not gonna get copyrighted. All right.
Just think, Sarah McLachlan, that dog commercial, but with Taco Bell menu items that have since been eliminated.
We may not have been able to save the potato items. The loaded potato griller is gone forever. And while that sucks, with a small click of a button, it's free. You don't even have to donate to it. You can help save the Mexican pizza.
It's just a petition. All of these items in our background right now, showing what Taco Bell has taken from us.
Gone in an instant.
Life is but a vapor. Here one moment and gone the next. I hope you know that's a Bible verse, but I know you don't care.
I was going to say that's kind of hard.
You thought it was a rap line, didn't you?
No, I was just like, Gerald's kind of spitting right now. Like, go Jesus.
Anyway, but in any case, enough about giving Taco Bell any more free clout than it deserves for its crimes.
While we're on the topic of disappointments, we're going to talk about the Trevor Lawrence Bowl that is happening tomorrow between the New York Football Giants and the Washington Football Team. Gerald, would you like to take off with your analysis of how the football team season has gone so far and recent events happening around your franchise?
So the Washington Football Team by no means is anything close to being considered a functioning organization. We've said before, Dan Snyder is on par with James Dolan as one of the absolute worst owners in any sports franchise in the world. He has messed up the stadium, messed up the team, messed up leadership decisions. He has done, I'm going to have to say allegedly, criminal things to people on his staff. There have been multiple reports of his involvement in things that absolutely are reprehensible. He has thrown money at players. He is the James Dolan of the NFL. He's thrown money at players who are no longer worth anyone's salt and just absolutely trashes the team. I listen, there's a reason when I was growing up, I didn't even know that Deion Sanders was on the Redskins. The team formerly known as the Washington Redskins. The reason is that people don't talk about it because it's not worth talking about.
Exactly.
I lived through the Albert Hainsworth ordeal. $100 million for a season and a half of mediocre production.
Now, lest we forget that y'all had Donovan McNabb as your starting quarterback.
Donovan McNabb, and he didn't even last the full season. That's when we decided Rex Grossman was going to be our franchise quarterback.
Oh, yeah. I mean, y'all swept us.
Huh?
Y'all swept us with Rex Grossman.
Yeah. That's fair. But still, I'm glad PJ. I'm glad Corey wasn't here. Because if we had mentioned Rex Grossman, he would have gone back to Sexy Rexy.
Dude, Sexy Rexy.
But in any case, this team, the only time it's ever been good was that one year that RG3 actually had a good season.
And then you coached him into the damn ground.
Well, in Ndamukong Suh, no, not in Ndamukong Suh. Who was that one Hawaiian player who used to be on the Ravens?
Bro, Haloti Ngata. I got listening to him crunch on the Royal Farms commercials every other day, bro.
Exactly. Haloti Ngata made one, I'll say, really good football tackle that ended up busting RG3's knee. And I guess Mike Shanahan didn't think it was a serious enough injury and kept on putting him in.
Is that right?
Put him into the playoff game against Russell Wilson at the beginning of his prime with the Seahawks on a playoff game. And literally, RG3 had to crawl off the field because his knee collapsed on him. So even when we were good, we were severely and fatally dysfunctional as an organization. And this season has proven nothing to the contrary. This season, we started with hope that Dwayne Haskins, a young guy, was going to get all those first-team reps. He was going to be the new face of the franchise. He was going to be someone who could bring a new life into this organization. He was not one of these new quarterbacks that ran everywhere. We don't have a team that's built around that. We have a team trying to be built around a classic style of football with a center dropping back in a pocket and making good throws. That's fine. You want to be that team? Build your team around that system. It's fine. And I think that we're doing an okay job. Ron Rivera gave me hope. Dwayne Haskins gave me hope. The dismissal of leadership gave me hope, among other things. In controversial circumstances. But I had hope at the beginning of the season. And then we won our first game, I believe.
Yep.
against who was it? It was who was it?
I don't know.
The Eagles. We beat Carson Wentz and the Eagles. And after we came back from 17-0 to win 27-17. 17 unanswered points. No, 27 unanswered points to win a game coming back from behind. That gave me hope. That was like, oh, this is a different team. Next week we play the Cardinals and we lose. I believe it was 30-20, and that's not indicative. That score is not indicative of how the game goes, how the game went, because the Cardinals absolutely dominated that game. Our defense couldn't stop anything. Couldn't stop a run, couldn't stop the quarterback, couldn't stop our secondary was out there in no man's land thinking about their next paycheck. Yeah, it was an absolute mess. And then I thought, okay, well, I guess the Cardinals are an okay team. They got a different kind of system that we just weren't ready for. All right, let's go to the next game. Who do we play next? Let me actually check. We played, believe it was, who was it? We played the Cleveland Browns. Oh, by the way, that Cardinal score was actually 30-15. That sounds about right. We play the Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield and his team, and we thought, okay, it's Cleveland. Even though they're always good 2 games into the season, and then they collapse because they're Cleveland. But for some Lord-forsaken reason, Cleveland decided to actually be good this year, and Baker Mayfield is taking this seriously, apparently. And he has a team around him and weapons that he can actually use. And this is another team that's set up around a quarterback who's staying in the pocket and throwing the ball around. And they beat us at our own game. And then I thought, okay, yeah, we're not going to be doing good. And I already knew the next game was an automatic loss against the Ravens.
Yeah.
I don't think the Washington football team is going to beat the Ravens in the next 6 years, 7 years, if they ever have to play each other. That's not going to happen. Even in the preseason, it's never going to happen. And then week 5, I think they just completely gave up because of the rain. And after the Ravens game, during the week, they decided to bench Dwayne Haskins and say, we still have confidence in him.
Not only bench, inactive.
He's inactive. Apparently, he's inactive with. There are conflicting reports right now. Apparently, he was inactive with an illness, a stomach illness. But apparently, teammates have been texting him back and forth and saying he's not really that sick. He just doesn't want to be there. Okay, so we're back at square one with a quarterback who doesn't want to be here. Thank you for the memories of Jason Campbell that you just brought back to me, you sons of bitches. All right, this is the life I'm living through with this team. And then we play the Rams with Kyle Allen as our starter, and he's doing somewhat all right. And then he gets hit in the head, and we put Alex Smith and his S-shaped leg back into the game. And he gets sacked 6 times. The O-line didn't put any effort. Six times.
I mean, you would have thought that,
You would have thought they would have tried at least.
Especially with Alex Smith, I would have been like, all right, maybe I should wake up here.
Every single time he went to the ground, I'm like, oh, God, no. We're going to have to hire Mark Sanchez again. We're going to have to do this again. Don't make me live through this, but it looks like I could be looking at a 1-15 season the way this thing is going. And then apparently Ron Rivera doesn't really like Dwayne Haskins anymore.
Can't blame the guy.
He's a young quarterback. He didn't have a preseason.
Yeah, but once it gets to my turn to talk about the Giants, we can talk about young quarterbacks.
It just, and then this week we're playing. And we'll transition here to let you talk a little bit, but we'll transition here. This week we have a chance to win because we are playing the god-awful New York Football Giants. And now I will hand this segment over, pass the torch to the other loser in the group right now, who is in, I think, 4th place in the division. So we're 1 game ahead of you.
One in the most terrible division game in football. 1 game seems like 5.
You know, 1st place, Philly, they're only ahead of us by half a game.
Because they had a
and they're leading the division. They're 1-3-1. That's a division leader in the NFC East.
Yep. That's where things stand right now. So
No, wait, no. Actually, no. Dallas is 2-3. Dallas is 2-3. They won.
Hey, could they beat us?
You want to take over?
Dak got hurt, obviously. You hate to see that. Andy Dalton is now the best quarterback in the NFC East. Who would have thought I would ever say that in my life? But anyway, so I'll go through a similar breakdown of the New York Football Giants season. So the end of last year, obviously it wasn't the season that Giants fans anticipated, but we had hope. We had, you had Saquon. We drafted an offensive lineman. Daniel Jones had a pretty solid rookie season last year. He had some turnover issues, but, it seemed like he was working on that in the offseason, and, things were looking good.
Yeah, Daniel Jones worked on his accuracy in the offseason. Chris Davis worked on his batting average.
Yeah, he worked on something. So going into week 1, was I expecting to beat the Steelers? No. But we did put up a good fight. We definitely had a couple plays where we could have won that game. So we took the loss, but I was okay with it. We fought hard and it was promising. Except for that one play that where it looked promising, but there's little things here and there that Daniel Jones rolling out of the pocket and just blindly throwing it up in the middle of 7 Steelers defenders was a little concerning.
Right.
It's neither here nor there. So, week 2, we played the Chicago Bears. The franchise tears his ACL. So now we're down. We're out with Saquon Barkley.
I saw that game. I was watching that game live that day. I was like, and I texted you immediately. And I said, I just put in Saquon.
Yeah. So, our defense made Mitch Trubisky look like Peyton Manning reincarnate. God, that was terrible. It was just, and that's when I started to realize. And Daniel Jones looked like ass. But I was like, I was kind of on your wave, like young quarterback, whatever. Life happens. He's playing with a new coach, Joe Judge, who says a lot of good things. Keyword is says.
Says.
But we'll move. We'll come back to.
Apparently, today's a good day to work on the fundamentals.
Yeah, to my ass. So. We will talk about the fundamentals of football after my little analysis. So now we're down Saquon, and Daniel Jones is looking a little bummy. We made Trubisky look really good. If you started Trubisky in fantasy that week, you were pretty happy with yourself. And that same week that Saquon went down, the San Francisco 49ers lost Jimmy Garoppolo and Nick Bosa.
Right, yeah.
So the 49ers were more banged up than us, relatively speaking. And they looked like a practice squad going out to play the next week against the New York Football Giants in New Jersey. So, had our hopes up. Maybe the Giants can break it to 1-2. And we let the San Francisco 49ers practice squad almost hang a 40-piece on us. And that's when I was like, okay, we're in for one of those years. Love it. It's great. But, hopefully at least Daniel Jones can show something redeemable. And, maybe we have something to do with. Lose to the Rams. Daniel Jones was god awful. And then last week, we lost the Cowboys. Daniel Jones was god awful again.
In what was a highly contested game.
A highly contested game, which you can expect to see again this week. And not because there's two good teams, but because there's two bottom feeder organizations.
the unstoppable force versus the immovable object.
Yeah. Now, the only saving grace here in this season is that we can get rid of Daniel Jones at the end of it. If we keep on pace and go 0-16, we can get Trevor Lawrence, the current Clemson quarterback, who looks like he's going to be an amazing player on the next level. So this brings us to tomorrow, the Trevor Lawrence Bowl. Two teams who drafted quarterbacks in the same year, who were supposed to draft each other's quarterbacks. I don't know if y'all were even going to draft Daniel Jones, first of all.
I don't think he was even on our radar, but obviously.
With good reason.
Huh?
With good reason. Because
right.
Yeah. So
I remember his first preseasons.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I fell for it. I was on the bandwagon. I was on the Daniel Jones train. I was like, this is a guy that, he could turn out to be okay. I've never been more deceived in my life.
And this is coming from a New York sports team fan.
Yeah. I, as we discussed earlier, was convinced for about 7 months that Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving were going to sign with the New York Knicks. I have never been so deceived as I was by Daniel Jones because we were right to boo him on draft night. He sucks. He's terrible. I understand, the offensive line isn't that great. He's missing Saquon, but he was doing this with Saquon. We all thought it was going to be a learning curve. No, he's terrible. And just
the Trevor Lawrence Bowl.
Yeah, so it's just
nothing like professional football.
Like, I've never seen a person who can't hold on to a football. Yeah. So Daniel Jones is kind of kicking me in the dick every week, as expected now. Before, I thought he was going to be okay this year, but now, I think he's on pace for 40 turnovers this year. That's ridiculous.
That's nice. 40. Is that how many? What was the highest turnover count that Eli Manning ever had?
He had 27 interceptions 1 year.
1 year he had 27 interceptions,
and that was a leading in 27 interceptions. Daniel Jones is on pace to almost double that. So Daniel Jones doesn't have the Super Bowls on his resume that Eli has to save his job.
Right, exactly.
Dave Gettleman needs to go. He needs to go before this next draft because I swear to God, if Dave Gettleman is the GM and the Giants have the number 1 pick and he doesn't take Trevor Lawrence, we got to riot. You have to riot. And you got Joe Judge, who admittedly at the beginning of the season I was excited about. Nobody really heard of him before. But right. He reminded me a lot of Tom Coughlin with the way he was talking, the way he was explaining the game, the way he was saying how he's getting this team right, the direction he wanted to take the team in. I was hearing a lot of good things, but unfortunately I'm only hearing a lot of good things. I'm not seeing a lot of good things because this team just has – at this point you might as well just blow it all up again. What are you going to – you got to trade Evan Ingram for whatever value he's worth. You might as well trade Sterling Shepard. I don't even know if Sterling Shepard's played a game yet this year. If he has, that's how useless he's been. And, Saquon's now – his future's up in the air.
Well, how bad was the injury? Is my question.
Well, he tore his ACL.
I know he tore it, but I know that there's tears and then there's something that completely detaches it.
No, I don't think he. I don't think he completely tore it. Now, I hate to quickly change topics,
Right.
but I did just see a tweet that said, if the Astros pull this off, which of the two 0-3 ALCS comebacks in history will be a bigger source of rage for Yankees fans? The one against the Red Sox or the Houston Astros coming back to win this series? I'm going to have to say this one.
I'll let you think. Do you have an answer for that?
Yeah, this one. The Astros.
This isn't the Astros.
Yeah.
Because at least the Red Sox back then beat you by being a better baseball team at that moment.
Bro, and we had a bunch of World Series going on, and we just beat them the year before. Yeah, it sucked because it's the Red Sox. You hate to lose to the Red Sox, but dude, at least as much as you hate the Red Sox, you respect them. As much as Yankees fans hate the Red Sox, you can at least respect them. You can respect
not anymore, but that's because of what came out now.
Yeah, but the reason for that was a product of the Astros,
right?
So you can respect I respect Boston as a competitor. You know how that goes.
Yeah,
I have zero respect for the Houston Astros. I despise them, and if they win the World Series this year, even though it's a fake season, there must still be riots. But anyway, back to the New York Football Giants. Fire Dave Gettleman. Get rid of Joe Judge. I mean, first year coach, I understand that, but he hasn't. Every time we get a new coach, I hear a lot of good things, and I don't see a lot of good things. If it was any other GM, for Christ's sake, the Falcons coach took them to a Super Bowl. They started 0-5. He's out the door.
Right.
I understand. First, while we're on this topic of football teams, the only team that might be worse than the Giants is the Jets. How has Adam Gase not been fired yet?
I have no idea.
How is that man still holding on to a job?
He let go. They were trying to trade Le'Veon Bell, and no one wanted to trade, so they just released him. And now he's going to Kansas City and is probably going to win a ring.
At least we're not the Jets.
And he still got his payday.
Do you know how bad you have to be? Oh my God. The Knicks, Nets, Yankees, Mets, you have these rivalries between the two sports teams rivalries. But we are, you know how that goes. But Giants, Jets, and given everything that's going on with the Giants, the Jets still managed to be the most bottom tier franchise in the city. It's terrible. You hate to see it. You really do.
Are you relatives with any Jets fans, or are you guys all Giants?
No, I know a couple Jets fans, but it's I wouldn't be upset. If of all the teams that my teams are rivals with, the team I hate the least and wouldn't mind being okay every once in a while is the damn Jets. I feel bad for him. I think
you feel bad for them because you, as a New York fan, feel responsible. He's feel like how you say you have a connection with someone on the bus, them, you're the same. I don't know. Let's say say me. This happens to me from time to time. Where I'm a Hispanic guy. I don't know what it is about Hispanics and the way they decorate the outside of their houses. But sometimes it just makes you go, oh, why are my people like this?
Jesus.
I think that's how you feel about the Jets.
It's
why is this franchise even part of this city? I can't even say, look, New York is no longer the mecca of sports championships, no matter how many, the Yankees are just the Yankees. They've transcended a city. They are just the Yankees. If you move the Yankees, put them somewhere else, they're always going to be the Yankees. Giants have 4 Super Bowls under their belt, but it doesn't look like they're going to get to one in the next 5 years.
The Giants have made a Super Bowl appearance each of the last since the 80s. Each decade they've made a Super Bowl appearance. And it's not looking good. And we're in year 0 of this decade, and it's not looking good for the next 10 years. I'm letting you know, if the Giants make it to the Super Bowl this year, I will be as shocked as anybody.
This decade, you mean?
Yeah.
But all that being said, you also got to look at what else. The Rangers, when's the last time they won a championship?
94. Last year, the Knicks made it, or the last year, the Knicks were like really, really good.
Oh, yeah, because you guys shared the Garden or not at the time, but you guys were sharing the Garden and you were both in the finals at the time.
Yeah.
And then, the Knicks are the Knicks.
The Knicks are the Knicks. The Rangers did just draft an absolute stud.
I'm talking about when your last championship was.
Yeah.
You're a New York fan when you get excited about trades.
Yeah, the Knicks last one was 73, Rangers was 94, Yankees was 09, Giants was 2012. It's not looking good. Jets was 65 or whatever the hell the Joe Namath won. Like, God.
I think the Mets were in the 90s as well, or the early 2000s.
The Mets was 84, 85.
I thought they won in 06 or
no,
not 06. I mean, I thought they won in the 90s.
No, I think there was the last one was in the 80s for the Mets.
Also, props to the best sports agent of all time, Bobby Bonilla's agent.
Oh yeah, when does this contract look? 30 more years.
2035.
Jesus, 15 more years. He's getting paid.
Getting paid another $1 million for doing absolutely nothing. After already having had a contract with the Orioles and another team, I believe, in the interim, he is set for life beyond any other sports athlete I have ever seen. That agent better get half that money because he deserves it for getting that deal.
Just knowing that you're getting $1 million paycheck every year for the next 15 years.
Just sit on your ass.
Ridiculous behavior.
Because technically he's still under contract with the team.
Yeah.
So he can't play. I mean, at least when he was still able, he couldn't play baseball with anybody.
Right.
And then I'm missing one team. The Islanders.
The Islanders were good in the 90s.
Yeah. But anyway, enough about the woes of New York sports.
DC appears to be the new city of champions with the Capitals and the Nationals. So
Capitals, Nationals, WNBA. I think that was it. The Wizards, remember when they got hot in the middle of the last decade?
Yeah.
14, 15. They were like, oh, they're going to play the Celtics. They could win. I'm just like, and then Paul Pierce had a fingernail on that buzzer beater ball.
Yep.
And it hasn't been the same since.
Yep. That's how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, and then there's Washington. Man, I remember how excited I was when the Orioles won the AL East. I was at that game when they won. And I had hope in 2014, and then the Royals decided to fuck us in the ass by sweeping us. Can you say right now that you admit that the Orioles have a better stadium than the current Yankee Stadium?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because at least every single one of our sections has actual seats and not metal high school benches.
Yeah, I've been to a game at the new Yankee Stadium. I never, unfortunately, went to a game at the old Yankee Stadium. One of my biggest life regrets. But, it was 9, so it's not like I really had to say in it. But, it's no Camden Yards.
You'd much rather.
There's not even a redeeming factor of history anymore. We won the World Series in 2009, and that was it.
Yeah, there's a reason the MLB still hasn't gone back to New York for an All-Star game.
Yeah. Well, the Mets had it. The Mets had it in like 2015.
Yeah, Citi Field. But yeah.
When's it coming to Baltimore is the real question.
That's what I've been waiting for because I thought they were going to do it. Remember when they went to DC?
Yeah.
The fuck would you do it in DC? Acting like DC has any real baseball fans.
Right.
They have half a stadium. That's why their stadium is always filled halfway throughout the year. There's no loyal DC baseball fans because that team only started existing again back in 06.
Right.
There's no point. Everybody's like the history of when everybody was like, this is the first time a baseball team in DC has won a championship since the 30s. Yeah, because you guys didn't have a team for 55 dang years.
Right.
And I'm like, those don't count. Stop acting like it's a big feat. You're not the Cubs. Shut up.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I will ever respect Peter Angelos for, is for blocking DC from getting a team for that long just so we can continue to shit on them. That is the only thing. That's the only thing Peter Angelos did right, is hold out for so long by not letting DC have a team. And have everybody suffer through the terrible Orioles of the era. But them say, well, it's the Orioles or nothing else. And now that allegiances have formed, you can't get rid of them. You know how sports allegiances work. You know how many times I wanted to switch teams?
Oh, yeah. Trust me. You're talking to me.
You know how many times me and him, PJ and I, have wanted to switch teams? I wanted to be a Chiefs fan at some point. I'm like, I could even keep some of the colors in my room. It could work.
I could have been greatness. I grew up in the era of the Shaq and Kobe Lakers, bro. I could have just been a Lakers fan, but no. Latrell Sprewell gained my allegiances.
Pablo Prigioni.
Here I am today.
I had no choice. I never liked the Ravens, and the first game I ever saw was a Redskins game, and I watched that game, and I was like, all right, that's my team. Little did I know, living in Laurel, Maryland, making that decision, I would come to regret it at 21 years of age in the year 2020 of our Lord and Savior. That was a travesty that I didn't know was a tragedy at the time. And the same thing with the Orioles, because my dad is an Orioles fan. And I don't blame him. I'll enjoy the Orioles. They've at least given me a bone.
Yeah.
And at least I've learned to roll with their punches.
The only team I can solidly say I've never wanted to switch allegiances with is the New York Yankees. Other than that, I've had some deep personal talks with myself.
You're like, just throw away the jerseys, man.
I can make so much money on eBay, man.
Just get rid of them. They're not worth our time. They're not worth our love.
They don't love me back.
I have not bought any Washington football team or previously named Washington franchise memorabilia since one baseball cap styled with the logo in 2011. That's the last time I bought anything pertaining to that organization.
I'm sorry.
I can't spend money on them, man.
Bro, it's just the only team I spend money on now is the Yankees.
And even they're starting
and even then, as I tweeted earlier, at least they wine and dine me.
Oh, man. But we're in for an interesting game. Is it a 1 p.m. game? On
It's a 1 p.m. game, so I can't sleep in. I'll wake up early and attack the day and watch the
I get to go prepare myself in church and pray beforehand.
Bro, I was gonna say, at least you have church.
I know. But I used to be able to ignore games sometimes because I used to have church at 12 o'clock and get out at like 2 or 3:30. No, 2:30. And if we had events, we would get out at
2.5 hour church.
We have Sunday school for an hour, a small break, and then service.
Bro,
and then if it's a special day like Mother's Day or Father's Day, we have free lunch downstairs.
All I can say about being Catholic is that like 55-minute mass, easy breezy, beautiful.
Some diddly-da-dum-diddly-dee-da-dum-dee-da.
Eat some bread, drink some wine, out.
The Holy Eucharist. But yeah, the what is it? Oh man. Yeah. Now I have a new schedule. I start church at 10 um for an hour of Sunday school and then a break and then an hour of regular service and then I'm done and then I can go and watch the game and cry my eyes out and go back at 6 p.m. for another hour of church.
Oh, that's
Um,
great.
I don't know if you knew this. Baptists have 2 services on Sundays.
Sounds fun.
Sounds like you're never going to become a Baptist.
That's remind me not to put that at the top of the list.
Just if I can make a suggestion, Episcopalian.
It's a fancy word.
Yeah, I know you don't know what it means, so that works for me. But anyway, I think we've exhausted our energies talking about how terrible our teams are. Shall we move on to our finishing segment?
Yes.
All right. So I'm gonna go first. This is episode number 18 of our podcast, and what we always do at the end is try to pick the best player to wear each number that is the same number of the episode we're on. So 18. I have chosen the MLB, and the greatest MLB player to wear number 18 is Moises Alou. He wore number 18 for almost all of his 17-year career in the majors. He played with the Pirates, the Expos, the Marlins, the Astros, the Cubs, the Giants, and the Mets. He ended his career with a lifetime .303 average, 332 home runs, and 6 All-Star selections, helping the Marlins win a World Series title in 1997. A worthy addition to our archive of some of the greatest of all time, and then some Knicks players.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, I missed last week's episode, unfortunately, which was number 17. So before I get into my pick for number 18, which will not be a Knicks player due to the Knicks player who is most famous for wearing number 18, we're going to go back to number 17. And of course, you know I have to do it. Jeremy Lin, Linsanity, the single greatest month span of being a Knicks fan I've ever enjoyed in my lifetime. I was fortunate enough to go to a game in Madison Square Garden, my first game in Madison Square Garden during the peak of Linsanity. It was an amazing time to be a Knicks fan. And honestly, it probably should have been my only time being a Knicks fan. But here I am years later. Jeremy Lin, the GOAT, now has a ring with the Toronto Raptors, the team that he put himself on the map against with his buzzer beater in Toronto. A nice finish to his story. And you gotta love the GOAT, Jeremy Lin. Now, for number 18, I was going to go with a Knicks player, but then I realized that the Knicks player most famous wearing number 18 is Phil Jackson, and we will have a separate episode for my thoughts on Phil Jackson, what he did to the Knicks. So, number 18, we're going to be going with the New York Football Giants. I was explaining to Gerald earlier, I can do Yankees players, but it's not as fun because they're all like actually good, and you know how I got to roll with this.
Right.
I'm responsible for our banner on Twitter. So, obviously the likes of Peyton Manning come to mind. But the real GOAT, a punter for 21 years in the National Football League, Super Bowl champion with the New York Football Giants, a rather wide individual for the position, the one, the only, Jeff Fiegels.
Jeff Fiegels.
The GOAT.
Absolutely not.
The GOAT.
Listen, I'm going to put a subsection here because you're an idiot. It is Peyton Manning, by the way. At least for me. Best player to wear number 18.
It's a personal segment, isn't it?
Well, you have an opinion. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion, but I'm just here to tell you that it's absolutely batshit wrong. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying about that. But yes, worthy addition. See, we put Moises Alou along some of the greatest of all time and Jeff Fiegels.
Yep.
Well,
do we have a running list? I feel like we should have a list of players.
I'm gonna have to go back and read every single one, watch every single one of these segments. But yeah, I think we're gonna have a list, and
we just gotta go over that list every once in a while. Just be a periodic check-in. Here, Gerald's contributed all these Hall of Famers, and I have Pablo Prigioni and Jeff Fiegels. I got my guys.
Hey, you contributed Pat McAfee the one time, remember? Our first episode.
Yeah.
But all that being said, I think it's time for us to say goodnight. Catch us again next week. If you want to sign the petition to save, try to convince Taco Bell to save the Mexican pizza, the link is in the description. It's right here on the screen if you want. Go there, put your name in, believe in something for once.
That's all we
come
have.
Back. I know. Hopefully next week we'll have all three of us back together because it's always even more fun when we get to all three come together.
I can fulfill my debts to my colleagues.
I will eat Taco Bell live on air. PJ will consume
a slew of other substances.
Slew of other substances. It might be a gallon at this point of other substances, as will Corey.
Corey is also indebted.
I
think it's only fair that Corey has to make a grand sacrifice to pull his Dodgers through. I'm genuinely convinced that the only reason the Yankees made it through that Indian series was because of the sacrifices I made.
What did you do? Oh, right.
Each game. I was if this happens, and then it happens.
Yeah. You guys are powerful in a way that makes absolutely no sense. If you want to tweet us, it's We Talk Sports 20. That's our Twitter handle. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Share us with all your friends. If you truly want to support us, always hit that subscribe button. Share us around. Show everybody what we do. Listen into us. Give us as many views as possible. And as always, we will see you next week. Good night, everybody.
See you.